Alright, so even though we're making burnt ends here, I'm gonna go ahead and let this whole thing rest for a couple hours before I go into cutting the point off. Most other people I see will cut this off right now, but why do that, right? When it needs to rest. I think the whole thing needs to rest. So all that violence was going on inside of there during all that time. You don't want to just go slicing into it right away. So I'm gonna let the whole thing rest for a couple of hours in this towel here. You know what? I should do it like this probably.
Say too hot. Looks like a little baby.
Swaddle it up. Okay, we'll just throw it back in.
Don't do that.
And maybe since we don't have an ice chest this big, let's let it sit in here. Woo! You can feel the juice packed in there. It's gonna be okay, to say the least. All right, so we're gonna use a pair of these crazy gloves. Mimi got me straight from Mimi's Kitchen at marybakes-a-lot.com. Hooked me up with these. That's gonna be our first paid advertisement right there for marybakes-a-lot.com. Excuse me. Let's get the read straight, guys. Come on. All right. Anyways, so I'm gonna use these to unravel this thing. I don't know if it's necessary or not, but just in case, because we are beginners, we don't want any third-degree burn issues. Woo.
Pick up the top piece. Dang.
That's different. I think that's okay. It's a little pulled up a little here. That stuff I was gonna cut off here, it looks like. See how, oh, those are the great marks. It's okay. Okay. I think we've done a pretty good job of it. I think we're gonna let that sit open now for at least a good 30, 40 minutes. Flip this thing over here to where the flat cap is on top now, and you can see all the rendering that's how it happened here. All this fat was completely covering this. It's all kind of burnt into it, not burnt into it, but cooked down into it. I'm gonna flip it over. We're gonna get to cutting now. first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut a nice little angle off of this. So we get a beautiful end here. This will be really telling. Why don't you come around behind me? See, I could have taken that down some more there. That's gonna be some real juicy. Look how.
Try it. Try it.
No, I'm gonna do something special. Get around there. It's like got a glazing texture to it. Sweet candy. Oh, by the way, forgot to mention item number 2 from Mimi's Cat Kitchen, straight from MaryBakesALot.com. This super awesome sharp knife she hooked us up with. We didn't have it for the trimming, but we've got it for this part now, and it seems to be doing an amazing job. Man, this outside is so sticky, it's like got a sugariness to it. I know. I like it. It's gonna be a good piece right there. Just a nice little morsel. It's cutting right through. Alright, so let's take a test number 1 here.
I was thinking of which one to make sure, cut it against the grain here. I do like pencil size slices here. Okay, I think we're starting. Okay, if you look down deep into there, you can see a second level. You can see this second level of meat starting to go down in here now. So we're starting to separate the second side of the about
here. Sloshing around in there. Sounding a little sloppy. There's so much juice in there. I think we've done a good job at that.
Good brisket.
We'll get your live reaction to how it tastes, okay? How about that? We're gonna call the rest the point. You want some too, Callie?
That's good. Okay.
So we're going to see how the money shot looks. Oh, geez, yeah. That's really juicy. Okay. That's a good job, then. The problem is it too juicy maybe with this situation?
All right, so remember that piece. This is the first piece that we took off the very, very point of the flat here, right? So I told you we're gonna do something cool with it. So for now, we're gonna put it down this side. And we're gonna cut burnt end size cuts out of it. Oh, this is right in between. I don't like that. Should just cut it in half probably, but let's do it right about there. Oof, it just fell apart. Okay, just because I love you, I'm gonna let you throw that piece in your mouth right there. Just that little burnt thing. Tell me how amazing that is.
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
It's really good.
Okay. Was it super sweet?
Oh yeah.
Yay. Okay. So now, with the point end of our brisket here, we're going to turn it 90 degrees and let this open part face us here. And we're going to start cutting from a different direction because we're working with two different muscles here. So that's the split in it. We're going to turn this thing towards us. And we're going to take a hack off the side of here. Look how pink that is. So see how it's all fat mostly? Huge fat line was running through it there. Be a lot of flavor in that piece. So that's a pile of yummy pieces over there to the side to not be wasted. Okay. For this piece, what's left here, this is where we're gonna take the big chunks out and we're gonna make burnt ends out of it. So pretty big inch by inch pieces. This cuts right about here. These are gonna be the biggest burnt ends that anyone's ever had in their life. It's almost a shame to do it this way. But it's what I'm told to do. Ooh! Nice crispy outside. Oh, that's too thin.
That's pretty thick.
Yeah, it's not bad actually. This knife is working beautifully. Thank you, Mimi. Now see, this is why we don't want to have
Two different muscles.
parts that aren't exposed to the smoke. See, we
Right,
had
look
that
at-
cut in there.
Look at that, and then look at that.
Right. That never hit, the smoke never hit all of that. So for future reference,
It hit the outside.
this piece that I have in my hand here, this is gonna have to go from now on beforehand and just have that leveled. All right, so we're gonna put this to the side a little bit. Continue on. Let's see what this is gonna look like with it being so,
Not smoky.
yeah. It's pink still
Open
too,
it.
which is,
Open it. That's non-smoky, and that's the smoky.
I wonder if the bottom's no.
No. This outside piece might be a little bit better.
This is gonna be all fat, I think.
True. No. It's a little bit better. Not much, but.
So we have 2 layers of meat now. Look from the side of over here. Make sure it's focused on. So that bottom layer is where all the fat is supposed to render up into the meat, and it did as much as it could, but with us leaving such a huge fat cap on it, it's going to not be able to all go into it, I suppose. All right, so I'm going to start doing the burnt ends now. So we're gonna put these in this pan. Usually we do this in a smaller one, but look how many burnt ends we got out of this. Some of them are good, some of them not so much.
But they're all grown.
But
Good.
this next process we go through here is going to make them all really good. We got those left. Look at the red smoke ring. Usually people have a light pink. We got this. We got our Arizona burn in. Alright, so normally you want to pick some really special barbecue sauce for this next part. We had a couple different kinds on hand. The other ones were too vinegary. I like this one because it tastes, even though it's sugar free, it has a real sweet kind of taste to it. It's almost like cinnamony or brown sugar. Oh, this is gonna be good on this kind of stuff. So, you know your dad likes to do too much of this, so we're gonna try not to this time, okay? Just wanna kind of, at least enough to coat them all.
Maybe a little bit more.
Toss. Oh, gosh darn it. I forgot that first. Well, I forgot to put the rub on first. You know. Types of meats that come from the brisket here. You have the point meat, where it's much more wet and fat, right? There's huge pieces of fat in here that now I learned how in the future to cut off for good reason. And then this side you have the lean side where, you know, if you're not careful you could really mess that up. And so far as I can tell, it's beautiful. It's not dry at all. It's super moist in there. And then we have, you know, a pile of all those beautiful little cuts off the ends that are amazing, that we'll just eat little hors d'oeuvres out of piece by piece maybe at times. But you see how good the bark looks on a lot of that. That's how it's supposed to look. A lot of the inside of the middle of this didn't get that way, so there's some things to learn from for next time. But what we're gonna do is I'm going to turn the smoker back up to 250 and get it going. Actually, I'm gonna put it on 275. My mom thinks I should go up higher. I guess I'm gonna go 275 and just wait until this stuff caramelizes on this meat. And you're gonna see just the crazy caramelized, hardened, sweet spiciness on the outside of these things. So we'll put those on for an hour at 275 and see what they look like when we're done. All right, well, here we are. Damn near 24 hours after this process started. Well, shit, way over 24 hours from when the actual process started, I guess, but from when the cooking actually began. And what we have in here are our burnt ends. Hopefully I get to open this thing, which I haven't looked yet. But hopefully I open this thing and we see some caramelized looking burnt ends sitting here. I think those are going to be chunks of tender juiciness going on there. I hope they're not too spicy. The screw up that I created, I think we're going to call this these are called Arizona firecracker ends. Arizona firecracker ends. Based on Kansas City burnt ends. Alright, let's go to get these things out. Alright, so we got them inside now. I mean, I wanted them to have like a red tint to them, so I was trying to get us the sauces, which weren't very red, to turn that color. It looks like I did a pretty good job of that. I don't think it's gonna be too much compared to the chunks sizes, you know. Should be good. All right, so I've let these things sit now for another 45 minutes after we were done with everything. So let's see what they look like now. Oh, Arnold, come look, Arnold. These look amazing, Arnold. You should come look. Fill your body with protein, yeah? All right, so I made some mistakes here, but I'd say these burnt ends are gonna be okay.